Hare Krishna. Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Tamal Krishna Goswami iti namine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhupya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So as you may know, today is the first day of Chinese New Year of the Dog. We celebrated, the Chinese devotees, we celebrated New Year's Eve yesterday. If I remember correctly, and I think I'm correct, Tamal Krishna Goswami was also born in the year of the dog.
Yes.
So that would make him how old today? 71. Right. So it's his year. It's his year of the dog. It just so happens I'm born in the year of the dog also. And we all know the nature of a dog is to be loyal and to be faithful. And very often Srila Prabhupada would also give the example of the faithfulness of a dog. And in the context of Tamal Krishna Goswami, we can certainly see that is the case. He was a very faithful, loyal person, not only to Srila Prabhupada, but also to his ISKCON society. Sometimes devotees make a distinction. They might be very faithful to Srila Prabhupada, but for all their reasons they're not, or they don't feel they need to be very faithful to his society. But in the case of Tamal Krishna Goswami, although he's a lot of, you might say, run-ins, we all know the histories. He had a lot of run-ins with the ISKCON society at different times on different levels. But still he remained, we see by his example, he remained very, very loyal towards the ISKCON society also, and to its devotees. I didn't hear the memories, I just turned up. But on a personal level, we also know he was very loyal to certainly to his disciples, certainly to his god brothers and sisters. If he created a friendship, it was a very solid friendship. Rarely was it superficial. I also remember, this was a memory by Giriraj Swami, which I had heard on another Disappearance Day festival, a recording. And he was sharing an incident where he and Tamal Krishna Maharaj were walking along a beachfront somewhere in the US. And they just happened to see a dog along the beach, and its owner was either throwing a ball or a piece of wood, and the dog was running into the ocean, picking it up and then bringing it back to the owner. And the owner kept doing this, throwing the piece of wood or the ball into the ocean, and the dog would run out, grab it, and bring it back. So in the context of seeing that going on, as Giriraj Swami was remembering, Tamal Krishna Maharaj was describing the psychology of a dog in seeing that. And then Maharaj commented, maybe not necessarily knowing, Tamal Krishna Maharaj was born in the year of the dog, but that he, in the same way Srila Prabhupada would give him something to do, whatever it may have been, and he would run off and do it, and then come back, just like the dog would come back to its master and drop the ball at his feet. So in the same way, whatever instruction or service that Srila Prabhupada gave him, he would run out and do it and come back and again offer it to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. And of course, one such example, as you can all see, was his being told to go to China, which also happened in Mayapur. The seed for that service was planted here in Srila Prabhupada's room. As Giriraj Swami was remembering that particular incident. And another unusual thing, generally in a material context, when we don't, see someone for a long time or they pass away, over time the relationship does tend to become weaker. Your feelings generally become less. But in the context of a spiritual relationship, even though the person had departed 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, but the nature of the relationship is such is that it becomes, or can become, much deeper and much more meaningful. As is the case when when Tamal Krishna Maharaj passed away, I wouldn't say I had a huge amount of interaction. But over the years, through serving and through hearing, then naturally the relationship builds and it becomes deeper, as it can do for any sincere devotee. And just to finish, I recall, of course, not so many days ago was the disappearance day of Gogovinda Swami also. And some occasion, a long time in the past, one of his disciples had asked him how he was somehow talking about crying for Krishna. And the devotee asked, well, how will we know how to cry for Krishna? And Gogovinda Swami responded, when I pass away, then you'll know what it means to cry for Krishna. Which is another one of our teachings, is learning how to cry for Krishna. And we can learn to do that by also feeling a sense of separation from our spiritual master. And through that, we can get some small experience what it could mean to also feel separated from Krishna, which is ultimately what we're supposed to be feeling or cultivating. So the spiritual master passing away, however sad an event it is on one level, but it's also not necessary that he passes away, of course, but necessary that we learn how to cry for the absence of our guru and even for the absence of devotees generally. And that will hopefully gradually all add up towards learning how to cry for Krishna. So these are some thoughts I have to share for today. Thank you so much. Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami, Srila Gurudev Ki Jai.